Hi, and welcome to How Guitar Music is Written, Introduction to Music Theory. This is where most of the people are scared or afraid to learn any music instrument because they don't want to learn how to read music. In fact, I was hesitated myself in the beginning to learn the music theory or the how to read the notation. But as it turned out, it's not that hard if you understand it. So I will do my best to make this as simple as possible. There's a lot of things I'm not going to mention yet. And there's a lot of things I won't mention because you don't need to know it as music theory. So we'll focus on the minimum that will allow you to learn how to play guitar well. Okay, so let's start. So how do we write music? The 5 lines and 4 spaces in front of you is called a staff, okay? And we write music in each line or a space. Now, if you're familiar with the tabs or the tablature, which is another system to write the music for guitar, the spaces don't count. But here, the spaces do count. We sometimes write the note on the line or on a space. So where does the notes go? Notes go either on a line or space, as I mentioned, and what they sound like depends on their position on the staff. So as you can see in the example in front of you, there's a lot of locations for the notes. So you can put a note below the staff or under the staff or in any other line or space. What does a note look like? Well, notes have a head and a stem. Some of them even has a flag, dot, or both, as you can see in the example. Smaller notes are tied together with a beam. So basically we have a note head, and this is where it counts when it comes to the line or space, meaning we don't care about the stem that much. Sometimes the stem goes up, sometimes it goes down. What's important is the location of the head of the note. Smaller notes in value, as we're going to learn in a moment, they have a flag, okay? And to make it a little bit easier to read, sometimes the smaller notes are tied together with this beam, as you can see, the line, the horizontal line. What is that symbol? The symbol at the start is called a clef, and this one is called triple clef or G clef. Basically, this is actually one of the most famous symbol when it comes to music, the G clef or the triple clef. This is because the line at which we start drawing is G. This is why we call it a G clef. So why we call it a triple clef? Well, basically because it's responsible for the notes that's on the right hand of the piano. What does that mean? Meaning that this symbol tells us that you are playing a triple instrument, not a bass instrument. Okay, and let's just leave it at that. So what is the note name? The G clef makes the second line G. Okay, and we only have 7 notes. They are A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. What happened after G? Well, we start again from A. So if you look at the example and you see the red line, that's the second line which the triple clef starts from, and the triple clef makes the first or the note on the line or the second line is G. So the space after that is A, and then the line B, and then C, D, E, F, and so on. So basically the triple clef makes the second line G, and then we build from this note up and down all the notes. So we have, remember the names of the strings, elephants and donkeys grow big ears. Well, we have the same thing here to memorize the notes on the line or on the spaces. The notes on the line can be remembered or can be memorized if you remember every good boy does fine. So again, taking the first letter of each word, the first line is E, and then the second line G, B, D, F. Now you don't need to worry about where is this note going to be. This is actually what we're going to cover. So this is something to memorize for now, and then when we're going to need it, okay, I will remind you of it. So just know that the line names are every good boy does fine, and the names of the spaces or the notes on the spaces is face, F-A-C-E. Okay. So what happens when we ran out of staff? Obviously 5 lines, 4 spaces, that's 9 notes. It's not enough to cover all the guitar. So we use ledger lines, and ledger lines can be above or under the staff. So we draw additional lines if we need to. Okay, they don't have to be there all the time. We just add it if we need to.